Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm glad you're with us this morning. If you wonder sometimes why I'm always smiling right before I come on the air, all kinds of things happen, and we get a kick out of it. If you only knew sometimes what happened. But anyway, we're here. We're glad to be here, and let's start with our weather. Brought to us by Gulf Coast Air Conditioning. Drew Pollard and his crew and all the hard workers up there, and run by the great local business, great outdoorsman, great dad, and just I'm just so tickled to have them on board with us. High today 77, low 65. Water temperature, they said it's hit 70. Now I got to double check that the last couple of days, but it just, if it did, it boom, just like that. But again, that's one of those fingers that we talk about, one of those currents. Our river readings, take a look at the Apalachicola, Bluntstown, 12.3. Not bad, and the Choctawhatchee, Caryville, 9.7. They're sort of getting back to normal. At the end of the show, the last segment of the show, I'm going to be giving you a fishing report from Choctawhatchee River and all the tributaries in there. Got a great report coming up from the Bent Rod Fishing Club, so stay tuned for that, and we'll find out what's going on over there. Tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. We're, again, like we mentioned yesterday, neap tides. High tide is at 10:35 this morning. And it's going to be dropping out pretty fast, low at 7:53. We've got a really strong outgoing tide today, but that's interesting now. If you're flounder fishing, it'll be a good time to go. Wind, it's going to be coming out of yesterday it came out north-northeast about 11, barely made double figures, and today they switched around south-southeast, coming in at about 13. Again, the run of double-digit wind direction, wind speed is continue the whole month. So it's coming in at 13 south-southeast today. All right, let's take a break, and we'll be right back when we'll have Captain Kim from Seaquarter Marina on the phone. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back, folks. Glad you're with us this morning. Got a call in to Captain Kim down at Seaquarter Marina in beautiful Caryville, Franklin County. Good morning, Captain Kim.
Good morning, Mr. Chester.
Well, listen, we hadn't talked to you in the last couple of weeks, about a month or so. What's going on down your way?
Well, we're all doing a lot of freshwater fishing. We got plenty of worms and crickets. The weather's been a little bit blustery here for March. So rather than going offshore, a lot of them are heading up the river.
Well, you know, it has been blowing. It's been in double digits every day this month, and we've talked about it up here. I guess y'all are getting the same thing down your way.
Yeah, that's a big Roger, and we haven't had too many of our loopers come through because, of course, they can't get too far, from South Florida or coming over from the west side of us. So it's been just a little bit of fishermen here and a lot of commercial guys going in and out, but a lot of the freshwater fishing going on. Okay,
I guess it's about to bust out, though. We're right here at April, almost at April, and I know this April and May it's going to be busting out.
I do believe so. Yeah, they're all going out there practicing. What little break in the weather they can do, looking for those groupers. So it should be an interesting next couple days. And
when is your grouper season be opening up down your way?
Yeah, it'll be Thursday.
Okay, that's a big deal. We want everybody to understand it's opening up in April down there. And I know if the weather's permitting, there's going to be a lot of folks out there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I think we'll hopefully have a good season and the weather will calm down enough for them to get out there.
Well, you be sure and send us some pictures of some of those catches y'all get, okay?
Oh, I certainly will. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you later.
Goodbye. You bet. You have a good weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, Captain Kim at Seaquarter. That's really good information. Like I say, they're opening up grouper season, and folks, you don't have to go out far to catch a grouper down in that direction. I get really tickled at the grouper so close to shore, just natural bottom down there. And speaking of natural bottom, if you remember yesterday, I was talking about the great red snapper count, and I ran out of time toward the end of the show talking about that last little picture we had. I want to finish up on it while it's fresh on my mind, or I will forget it. But we're talking about the count they did, and I showed this slide here, okay? And we're talking about the bottom of the. This is how the habitat, okay? I'm gonna go on down to Florida. And these three, we got natural, artificial, and okay. Natural bottom is like I just talked about over down in Carabel. Natural bottom is just what nature has done to the bottom of the Gulf of Mexico. Like, fish going to hang around any kind of valleys and cliffs and any kind of drop-offs, and our electronic machines pick them up. We have 17 million red snapper there. Then artificial bottom, that's like the reefs, like the Mexico Beach Artificial Reef Association, all the artificial reefs that put out, they estimate about 1 million. But here's the kicker. Here's what threw everybody a loop on this. That third one where it says uncharacterized bottom. What I've been doing some researching on that, and what I found, what's interesting is that they didn't know it was out there. And now with the technology and everything we have, they've been able to take pictures and taking their time and really delved into it. And it's different uncharacteristics. And one of them that really stuck out of my mind, they said even these container barges you see all the time, where the boxes or just the containers are falling off the barges and just going to the bottom, well, that makes that a natural reef. And there's a lot more of them out there. Obviously, that has happened a lot more than we realize. I mean, do you know if one fell off last week? I mean, especially you get out there in those rough seas and all, they come unbuckled, and it's very likely to happen in rough water, even strapping them down like they do. So any kind of those uncharacteristic bottom, and I'm going to find out more. I'm going to get the NOAA guys to come in and talk about this as soon as we can. Right now we can't, they won't allow to come out to do things like this, but we're going to get some scientific data. I did talk to some captains, and here's what they're hoping, and hopefully this will happen. The month of August, we're looking at the red snapper season coming in. We're looking at, it's going to be in June, of course, but in August we could have red snapper, grouper, and amberjack all legal, at that period of time, for a good period of time, and we're all looking for that. So everybody's scrambling now to try to get some trips in August, and so that's what it entails for us. I got a lot of pictures. Let's go and take our break while I get these pictures set up. So we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Let's jump into these pictures. We got a bunch of them, and this is the first one talking about is outdoor photography and just having a phone or camera with you, snapping it. Check this out. This comes from 38 Fishing Forum, Marlies Havas in South Walton. How about this is over at Blue Mountain Beach at the end of Longleaf Pine Trail. I watched this bird fly by with a good-sized pompano in his claw. Check that out. I have one more picture of it. Let's see. Let's go to this next picture. It's even closer. Now, that just goes to show you, that's proof right there, that everybody's watching Panhandle Outdoors, because even the birds are watching, because we were talking about it the last 2 weeks, had a pompano running, and they were watching the show, and they went out there and got them pompano. Great picture right there. That's nature at its finest. Now, let's go to the other end of the spectrum. I mean, this is at its worst right here. Forrest Massey, one of our viewers down there in Franklin County. These kids were creating havoc for boaters and canoeists at Abercrombie Landing in Apalachicola. That is where we put in all the time. They're riding their watercraft machines at a high rate of speed, cutting in and out around boats, and reckless with their own lives as well as others. Hopefully someone will know this. And this is just this is not good. Here's the other kid. He was at the land. He's got him a case of beer, and right there. And this is just we don't want young people to do this. Outdoors not about this, and it really is sad. And we just you see this kind of stuff happening, call a deputy or something, and reckless running. Okay, that's just not good. Jay Marshall, one of our loyal viewers, known Jay since he was a teenager. Check this out. This is what a fang on a snake looks like. You just see the tip. Most of the time you see the tip. This is how far back it goes. So when it penetrates with that venom, you see how that venom gets really into the depth of your flesh there. And that's a good job. He didn't get bit by it, but he was sharing this with you. Thank you, Jay Marshall. That's sharp. And speaking of sharp, I had to go to Panama City emergency room. The Gorganas family, not what we expected. David got hooked right there. That hurts, and you just right there you can't get it out when it's sticking like that. That barb sticking out. So he's got a good color, red head there, but he just got it in the wrong place. I know that was painful. We've all if you fish a long time, this happened to you. Just for you, my bird buddies, Tennessee. This comes out of Nashville, And the hummingbirds are headed back. They're coming in, so they're getting out the feeders. And here's some here in the Panhandle right there. But you see they're migrating back up this way. And we're about to get our hummingbird feeder out. But they're all over the place. And they're thick up there between us and Nashville. But they're just coming in with the weather. Now, check this out. Talking about some amazing photography. This is Cypress Roost Outfitters. All right, this is a doe on the left. On the right, a panther has grabbed the yearling while he's away from the doe, and the doe now is trying to attack the panther. Okay, I got a series of pictures. All right, right now the panther, this is nature. The panther is now getting, what the panther is doing, getting a big grip onto the yearling, and of course the mom is over there trying to protect it, trying to get it loose, but to no avail, and you can see him dragging it off. And that, I know it's gruesome to a lot of folks, but that is nature, and that's just how it works. Let's go to something pleasant. Gal and I over the weekend, we were down at our Cape House, and she changed our checkerboard. It was a chessboard, and she made a little checkerboard out of shells. Now, isn't that creative? I just thought that was cool, and that's using nature at its finest right there. We have to play a game. I want to be the scallop shells, but she does too, so we're going to flip a coin. And up in the right-hand corner now, that's some Indian pottery. We found some big chunks right there. Speaking of Drew Pollard, how about he got one to act right this morning? Good job, Drew. And look at he's in the yard. Look at those horns in the back by the tree. Is he an outdoorsman or not? And of course, I take it home and show it to the kids, and so that's how it starts right there. I like that. Okay, I'm gonna read this to you. Hi, Mr. Winston. My name. I'm gonna read it and show you the picture. Mr. Winston, my name is Eva. My papa took me to his pond in Vernon Friday afternoon in his John boat. We fished for about 2 hours. I was using my Red Holland brim buster, using crickets and wiggles, caught 10, enough to eat, but not too many to clean. I love that. Let's go to the picture right here. Eva, that is great. This is great because a couple of reasons. Of course, she caught some nice fish and all, but I think the most important reason, she spent some quality time with her papa, and she will remember this for a long time. So good job, and we need more of this. Okay, let me look for other pictures and all. Each year, I try to. Each spring, and this is in my own little mind, and I do emphasize a little. I try to pick out a tree that's just special to me, or what I call it, the spring bloom of the year, blossom. A lot of times it's something different. I know I got it here somewhere. What I try to do is pick out different blooms and all. A lot of times it's azaleas and all, and Gail and I made a cemetery run this past weekend. What we'll do, and I think we talked about it before, we make the big loop during the springtime. We'll do it in Christmas time, and we put flowers on all our family's graves, and we'll start off here and go up to West Gaston around Sycamore, and then swing up to Quincy and put flowers, and then come down to Hosford and then swing back. We call it a big loop. We usually try to run by Paramore's and get us a big catfish dinner after that. But I try to, well, I can't find what I'm looking for. I try to find a bloom of the year, and I found it. I might have to look it up later. But anyway, I want to show you this tree right here. Okay, I found it. Whoa, I found it right here. Hold on. Okay. Sorry about that. I've got so many pictures and I got different themes, and I try to get them organized in themes. So this is a different theme. Okay. The bloom of the year or the spring, every spring I just, in my own mind, I give a Winston Chester Award for the prettiest bloom of the year. A lot of times it's honeysuckle, or sometimes a graybeard tree, and a lot of times azaleas and all, where they burst out and just, in nature and just beautiful. Well, this year we're up there at the Quincy Cemetery, and there's this tree right here. This is a dogwood tree, and a dogwood tree does not usually get this big. And it was just really special. It just burst out at us, and I said, Gail, I said, this is my bloom of the year. And we laughed, so she took my picture of me under a tree. And so, but anyway, the irony to this, you see I'm pointing over, okay, to the right, in the right-hand corner of the picture, I look down, and lo and behold, that particular gravesite is a Myers, okay? Folks, I'm looking over there. That is my high school basketball coach buried right there, Coach Don Myers from Jackson County. I love Coach Myers. And isn't that ironic that at Bloom of the Year, I'd been to his services. I didn't remember where his gravesite was, and the Bloom of the Year is right next to my high school basketball coach. I just thought that was a cool thing. So anyway, the dogwood tree takes the award for this year's Bloom of the Year. So let's take a break, and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Let's take a look at the fishing game time today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers in Port St. Joe. We're looking at 112 this morning, 312, and this evening after lunch, 139 to 339, and the wind's going to be coming out of southeast. And you wonder sometimes why I show trees and wildflowers and all, and that's just, to me, is part of nature, part of God's gift to us as outdoorsmen, and we have it in abundance here in the Florida Panhandle. And ironically, you may be impressed with that dogwood tree, and I was too, but not near as impressed as I was when I read this story. I'm going to show you a couple of pictures. I'm going to read a little story to you, and then come back, and it just hit me really, really strong and all. This is just a picture of a pecan tree up here in Washington County, okay? Nothing spectacular. We have pecan trees all over. Okay, here's a picture of this fella leaning up against a pecan tree, okay? So now, let me tell you the story. I'm going to sort of read the story. A good friend of mine, Debbie Shores Whitaker, she's an assistant administrator there at University Academy, and been in education a very long time, well, a little while, not a long time. But I'm going to read this story about this tree, okay? 1975, Hurricane Eloise made landfall in northwest Florida. A lot of you remember that. That hit us pretty strong. A tornado that was a result of that hurricane uprooted a pecan tree at my great-grandparents' home in Washington County. Okay, I had a tornado spin off. My daddy owned a construction company at the time, so he took a bulldozer and was able to return that tree and others. It was leaning over. He pushed it up to an upright position. Okay, and also some other trees in the neighborhood tried to save them with a bulldozer. Does that not sound like something us outdoorsmen will do that just love these things? Almost 50 years later, here's my daddy with that very tree. Okay, there's a lesson in this tree about being picked up after you've been knocked down. Never lose sight of what God can do if you're just willing to be lifted up again. So let's look at this tree again, okay? This was a tree 50 years ago, was leaning over from a tornado, okay? And then your dad got there he is right there leaning against that tree. Isn't that a remarkable story? I just love that. And she told me the story and all. So, and here's some other trees that are offshoots from it too, some pecan trees up there in Washington County. So I'm just tickled. Thank you for doing that and sharing that with us, Debbie Shores Whitaker. I have a couple of other pictures. Supposedly, okay, let me see. I'm going to show these later. Okay, let's look at this. We got another Panther picture of Mike Edwards up there. And this was last week, March 26, 2021, at 8:26. Here it is. And you see in the right-hand corner, that looks like the tail of a panther. That sure looks like one to me. And he lives up there close to, in Lynn Haven, close to Stan Kirkland. He's going to get Stan to take a look at it and see what he thinks, okay? Now, I want to give a fishing report. J.B. Hillard up there at Bent Rod Fishing Club sent me a fishing report, and I'm tickled to get it because they've really been catching some nice fish up there. Okay. This is from the Bent Rod Fishing Club up there in Walton County. Lake Cassidy, okay, Black Creek Lodge, the dogwoods. Okay, this is interesting. The old timers in that area, the dogwoods are blooming. And here's what the annual sign for locals, annual sign, the shell crackers are starting to bed. When the dogwoods start blooming, the shell crackers going on bed. And the dynamic duo from the Bent Rod Fishing Club, James and Freddie, went out and struck again and caught a bunch of them. Had crickets in the back end of the lakes on the lower river. So the lower river and all, those little lakes on the back side of it, they caught some nice catches. Also 60 brim and shell crackers plus one shad. That was a good catch. So here I'm going to show you the pictures here. This is one catch right here, fishing. This is one warmouth, one bass, and two nice catfish. Okay, that's what the picture right there. And this is coming out of over here in Walton County. Okay, isn't that a good mess of freshwater fish right there? And then here's some more nice shell crackers. And then another bunch. And this was sent to us by Bent Rod Fishing Club, and he went on to say in the fishing report, he just caught a lot of different fish and all, and I appreciate him sending that. So one of the things I was going to get on the Google Earth map, and I didn't have time at all. I want to show you the structure of the Choctaw River and all those little tributaries that feed into it. And you have these backwater sloughs and little backwater lakes, and a lot of folks like to get into the backwaters this time of year. And I know you got to have a small boat. You're not going to get up there with a big old bass boat. But those guys over there, Freddie and those guys, they really know how to fish, and they have a lot of experience fishing at it. Okay, let me show you. I got a couple of other pictures here. This is a good one here. Steve Lacina. Okay, he and Bodie, his son Bodie, they had a great trip with Matt Beatty on Lake Seminole. You're looking for a good guide on Lake Seminole, then give Matt a call. He gives you 110%. He finally had to say, let's go home, Matt. What a great guide and fun time. Folks, is that not a great father-son fishing trip right there on Lake Seminole? And then both these guys, father and son, are excellent bass fishermen. But they did something which I respect them for doing it. They hired a guide on Lake Seminole. They can catch fish. I've seen the pictures of Bodie's fish before. He's excellent. But that's the same way with any of us outdoorsmen. You can hire a guide to take you in an area that you don't fish as much and all, and you're going to have a ball. And the same way with red fishing and trout fishing and all, don't be embarrassed to hire a guide. That's a smart thing to do. And I'd love to see Steve sharing that picture with us, because it's just a great thing to do. Now, by the way, I talked to Matt Smith last night. Guess where he was? He was up in Alabama, and he was up there at the lease, and he was looking for sheds. He's getting ready to hunt for next year. And is that not a smart thing for outdoorsmen? He was up there by himself in North or Central North Alabama, and was looking for sheds and all, and getting his pattern set for next year. So I told Matt he's got to get back on the show. We miss him, and he wants to come back on. He's just been real busy and all. So he's going to be coming on the show pretty soon. And I was, speaking of good fishing guides, I was thinking about Matt Smith and all, and so it was good to hear from him. And he's a consummate outdoorsman doing what he's doing, and these fishermen love to hunt too. Running out of time again. We got tomorrow, we're going to have Students of the Month. We can finally get back to Students of the Month, so I know you're looking forward to that, as I am too. You have a great day, enjoy the great outdoors, and do something good today for your fellow man. God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.